Almost no technology is entirely benign. So technology is always double-edged. So even the most fundamentally good things like medicine and like sanitation have unintended consequences, like the population explosion. Okay? So it's certainly the case that there are potentially unforeseen problems that might arise if we're successful in making fusion a reality. And it's certainly not free from, not completely free from the generation of wastes that we will have to handle. There's a certain amount of activation of the materials of a tokamak reactor, which eventually mean that when we've finished with it, when we shut it down, those will have to be disposed of in a safe way. And I think, if anything, that's one of the things we've learned throughout the latter part of the 20th century into the 21st century is that, we develop technologies, and we may do so with the very best of intentions. But unless we are deliberate about the way we handle those technologies, we will find that they will end up doing us harm or doing other people harm, which may well be very, very much unintended. It's part of a scientific worldview to believe that, in a certain sense, we should look for the technological fix for the various problems of society, whether it's supplying energy, whether it's health, whether it's human welfare of all sorts. I think my resistance to scientism, in addition to the epistemological discussion, is to say that it's simply not true that there's a technological fix to all of our problems. And while we as technologists, as applied scientists and engineers, will work on trying to develop technologies which we think are going to be, on balance, favorable, it's a great mistake for people in society to think that we're going to fix our problems predominantly technologically. We will, in a certain sense, fix them, or we will mitigate, I believe, the difficulties of society predominantly through the kinds of decisions which are motivated and dictated by moral, ethical, and indeed religious guidance. Much more, I believe, than we will mitigate them by technology. Again, I'm an applied scientist. I'm developing technology. I think that's important to do. But I think it's a very grave error if we think that we're going to fix, let's say, the energy problem by making fusion a reality. I mean, the Bible teaches us that there is no end to human desire and greed short of a spiritual transformation. And so I think that's a reality which we should take into account when we're talking about how to live in a way that takes advantage of our technological and scientific knowledge. So I think that balance is very important.